Welcome to Slice TV, and here we are again with Darrel, and we've got a bit of a family affair going today.
Lovely.
As Emily's homesick with a sore throat, aren't you, sweetie pie? Mm-hmm. So you thought she'd join us in the video to say hello, and we've got Doug here as well. But we'll better get talking now. So you want to go back and do your videoing, Emily? Where's your camera?
Yeah.
You got your camera there? You gonna hop out and do some videoing?
Good for you, Emily.
Okay, down you go, Doug. Off you go. There you all are. You go find your ball. Well, good to see you again, Darrel.
Good to see you, my friend. How have you been? In a few days.
It's been a few days.
I only saw you a couple of days ago, which is because I only saw you a couple of days ago, but there we are. It's good.
Okay, you do your videoing, sweetie. Good work.
Lovely to be back
I need the camera here. I need to do a video there. Emily cam. Darrel's trying to get up. Periscope.
Okay, with somebody come to see us today.
So this is...
Hello, everybody.
So for this video blog, we're doing a bit of a first now. We've got Periscope happening.
Hi, Periscope viewers.
Live at the same time. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Slice TV for first-time watchers.
Just for the context for people watching on Periscope, we are actually filming a video, Slice TV.
That's it.
And so we're chatting about some LinkedIn tips and some video tips around that.
Let's talk about some of your tips for publishing on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Now, one thing you do mention is to engage with your viewers.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, that creates an emotive reason for people to then, I guess, to like your information, to respond to your information. Is that?
Yeah.
Well, apart from being just a normal human being.
So I would say that it's not about necessarily engaging with your viewers, and I think we need to create some context there. It's about engaging with your community, the network that you're building. We approach this social media thing, and you've heard me say it before, and I've said it on each occasion that we've had a chat, is that LinkedIn is a social medium. You know, this is about communicating with people. It's human to human. It's a real communication tool. And if we just think about it as us communicating to an audience, I think we get into the territory that we don't really want to get into, where it's all about us and attraction and so on and so forth. We want to be an engaging person because of some of the other things that we have been chatting about around trust and the like. Did I mention that in this context?
Now, you have said before, as human beings, we seem to always want to bypass the relationship.
And I have no idea why that is. The reality is, particularly in business to business, you know, with larger ticket items for our services and products, Doug doesn't like that comment.
No, it wasn't Doug's approval.
We tend to a lot more trust is required for those transactions to take place. So we're far more likely, as Bob Berg says, to do business with people that we know, that we like, and that we trust. And yet, for some reason, we try to bypass that whole relational context and try to broadcast our services, our products, and try and get people to come and buy from us without actually really engaging with people. And I think that's something that we're going to have to get over as business people. You know, this is a connected age, it's a digital age. People are expecting us to engage with them human to human and not to treat our customers as if they are in some kind of position of weakness. So what I mean by that is that traditionally in business, the customer would need us to provide them with the information that they are looking for. So we had a certain position of power as business people. We had controlled all the cards. We were the gatekeepers of information, if you like. But now, of course, everybody has access to tools like this and can do their own due diligence. And so don't need us in the same way. We're far better off to approach this in a relational way, building relationships and creating trust. Because that way I think we're going to have far more success with these tools. So.
How have you noticed, I guess, that people are bypassing this human relationship? What have you noticed? What are some of the examples you've maybe seen?
Well, I think it's fairly typical, and I'm not going to be critical of any kind of marketing strategies. I think inbound strategies are really important, but I think that it's a mistake to just do inbound. So inbound marketing, I mean to just seek to attract people to us by doing certain things. So I might publish some content. I might publish a post as we're talking about here, but I have not built any kind of relational context with my audience, as we've described it.
Okay.
And so those people aren't emotionally invested in the relationship with us.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be less interested in your content if I actually have never really had a proper conversation with you. It's just reality of human interaction. So I think we need to understand more and more as business people the power of relationship. I think it's something that I'm going to be banging on about for some time, but there we are.
What about another tip I've read of yours is finding your digital voice. What's that about?
I think for all of us, I mean, if we understand that these tools... Now, it's Gary Vaynerchuk who says that every single one of you, and I'm pointing to each of us, and every single other person in business, every single...
Well, Emily's there.
And Emily, she will be... Well, probably is already. Every single one of us is a media company. So we need to find our digital voice, the way that we communicate best. And sometimes that takes a little bit of trial and error. I have found myself with, if we're talking specifically about publishing posts on LinkedIn, the more controversial I have been, the more engagement I've got. And that's not a deliberate, I'm just going to be controversial. It's the fact that, I might get passionate about a subject matter, and consequently that polarizes, perhaps my view is a little bit more polarized, and therefore creates people that agree and people that disagree, and that creates engagement that way. The temptation as human beings is to try and blend in and to be monochrome and not to have a point of difference and just to communicate information. But I think in doing lots of engagement, lots of this writing, even starting your own blog is a really good way to find your digital voice, and that means that you can begin to write in the way that people recognize you. And many people that have said who've met me in person after reading some of the things that I've written, they said, "Oh yeah, I recognize you by the way you write."
Okay.
Which is interesting, isn't it? But I've been blogging for a couple of years now, so it's perhaps not surprising that you develop a personal style, and that's what I mean by finding your digital voice. Develop that style, and don't just try and communicate dry information, I think is the...
We'll let you have a drink to find that controversial voice that
Cheers,
he's
Periscope.
talking about. Yeah. Now, I guess that comes down because a lot of people are scared to fail, aren't they? So when you've got to try things out, you might get it wrong, or you might not be happy with what you've done. Yeah. So,
but again, I come back to this. Let's come back again to this difference between an audience and a community. If I'm going to fail in front of an audience, that's a terrifying thing. But if I'm going to fail in community, then that's more of a forgiving context. So invest in. It comes all the way back, strips right back to this. Who are you connecting with? Why are you connecting? What is the context? Building relationships with these tools is far better, because in the context of relationship, if I fail, as I might define failure, then people are far more accommodating of that. Well, you're finding your digital voice. Of course I forgive you.
I even use that as your tagline. Here I am finding my digital voice.
Yes.
What do you think?
Precisely.
Don't be afraid to let people know what you're up to.
Actually, it's not a bad idea. If you're new to publishing on LinkedIn and this is your first go, then share a status update with a link to the article and say, I'm a novice at this. I'm finding my digital voice. I'd love some constructive feedback.
Yeah. Which could even lead to another point that I like. One of your tips is be generous with your knowledge. People are afraid to actually give out too much of their professional secrets.
Yes, exactly. And I think we have to get over that. We live in an age now where all information is available to to the people that we may like to do business with. They can do all of this due diligence themselves. They can get all the information that they need. They don't need us to provide it because they can find it. So instead of hiding my skills away, thinking, "Oh, this is mine," if I
You do make a good evil person. I think we see a bit of a future movie role there.
Yeah, we can talk about that later. I know I'm on the casting couch.
This is mine. You're at. This is mine.
This is mine. Yeah. So if I'm going to hide away my knowledge and skills, then that's actually detrimental to me, because in fact, if I'm going to and I'll use that illustration that you've used. What is it?
I got a fridge full of food and pots and pans, but I ain't no chef.
Yeah, in the context of therefore, I can have all these video cameras, which you've kindly given to me as a gift. Thank you, Courtney. But it doesn't follow that I'm going to be any good at creating my own video. So we need your skill to make it happen. The same with, an accountant, bookkeeper, lawyer, you name it. By sharing your expertise and sharing it in such a way that you are actually a real human being, and that you want to be generous with your knowledge, it actually positions you as a expert in your field. And this is the position that we want to attain, the trusted advisor position, the coveted trusted advisor, the person people look to when they're looking for expertise and information around your subject matter. So yeah, be generous.
With being generous, is it also about being consistent? I know that's another one of your tips.
Yeah, yes it is. But all these things start to tie together, don't they? Be consistent, because that's going to help you find your digital voice. Be consistent so that people know that you're sharing your knowledge and expertise. Be consistent, because if people come to your profile and you've only published 1 or 0 posts on LinkedIn, well, are you really a subject matter expert that I can trust? So I say to people this, if you're going to be consistent, if you don't know where to start, well, start by just creating perhaps a list of 6 to 10 possible subjects that you could write on, and then you don't have to panic. Pick one, the one that you're most comfortable with, and try to aim to post 1 a month. And then over the course of a year, that you've got 12 articles that you've written that people, when they come to your profile, they may be the first time that they've met you. They can encounter your content, and because it's generous, and within 12 posts you'd have found your digital voice, you're starting to get more confident and experience with it.
How do you compare video posts to the written posts? Have you noticed much in difference there? Because video posts just rock, we know that, don't we? Yeah.
Well, I don't know how many watching on Periscope.
Are we still on one? Have we got more than one person on there?
One person on Periscope. If you're watching on Periscope, we'd love a little heart. That would be very kind of you. Tap the screen for us. That would be great to know that you're still listening to us warbling on. But anyway, regarding video, well, as we've just done, Darrel introduces Courtney Waller. The illustration that we get an insight into you, into your life. We met Emily and Doug on video, and I would challenge anybody that, having watched that, to go away and think, I really know Courtney less than I did before. Well, that's a nonsense. It's a great medium for.
And now they know me, they won't have nothing to do with me.
Well,
probably. That's the other side of it all.
That is an issue. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I was hoping that, in this conversation, you might be able to share some video tips.
Well, I've just only finished doing a video for a company which didn't have any money. And they got everyone to use their iPhones, as we're doing here with our Periscope, to do the little clips. And I said, yeah, it's great, because they're all around the world. So why have a person sent to all these places going to cost them a fortune? And a bit of advice I gave them was, it's always about sound. If you want to know the difference between an amateur video and a professional video, it's not to do with these camera angles or having different shots and all that sort of bizzo. People are very forgiving with pictures nowadays, since in the world we live in. It's audio. If they can't hear you and understand you, there's too much background noise, then no one's going to watch the video, because you have to be able to hear people clearly. That's the key. That has always been our secret with videos.
Yes.
In a professional sense, it's getting audio right.
So is that an expensive exercise?
Well, oddly enough, it doesn't have to be. I was experimenting only a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, well, what can I find to sort of even give people? eBay, China. I bought a lapel microphone for $5 on eBay. I thought, oh, it's not going to work. You know, I'm going to get it from China. It's just going to be a microphone, and it doesn't work. It works beautifully. $5. And you can plug it straight into your iPhone or your Samsung or whatever device that you got as a phone-wise works.
So, just so it plugs into what, the headphone jack?
Yeah, it plugs straight into the headphone jack. We should get, if I can find it.
So that's quite. So what you're saying is that there's something within the actual input will convert the headphone jack into a mic.
Yeah. So what we normally have is your headphones. You plug the microphone straight in there. So here we have it. Here we have my. Let's see if I can get it so people can see there. So here's your normal iPhone. I'll put it up on the screen there. Periscope, people can see normal iPhone. And here's your lapel microphone. Now this makes a huge difference, Darrel, because if you can imagine, okay, you're doing a video out somewhere and you've got someone holding the phone normally about 6 to 8 feet away.
Yeah.
And therefore you've only got the microphone on your iPhone playing here. And depending on the environment, it's nice in here in a house, it's nice and quiet, so you can probably get away with it, especially us talking this level. But if you're at a spot where you either want to be talking a bit quieter or it's noisy background, this is a thing that will make your difference. So here it is. It's just got a normal headphone jack. I'll hold it up closely to the lens there. If you can see it, normal headphone jack. And here's where, in the back here of an iPhone, I think the Samsungs are just the same. Where it's not going to catch focus. It's on manual focus. And that's on manual focus too. So sorry about that if you're trying to look at it in focus. Plug straight in. And let's put it on you, Darrel, for given purpose. And then put it on their clip. Now, if you're out on site somewhere, like I've just got these clips from people around the world, they're on a lot of mining sites, so you can imagine all the haul trucks going around or outside, the wind noise. You put it under their jacket or their shirt, their high-vis shirt.
Oh, yes.
You can still hear the person.
Yep.
Then I just go straight to my camera, video, and let's record Darrel here. So there it is.
Hello and welcome to my video introduction. I hope you'll find this most interesting and insightful. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Now that is just $5 investment. That is going to make your initial video. Now this could be just something to put on your website, YouTube. Like you were saying, just to get your digital voice started.
Yes. What if you wanted to do a selfie? So selfie, you obviously can put it in selfie mode. But if you wanted to put the phone onto a table or something, you can get one of these little stands, can't you?
Yeah, there's heaps of stands out there. Like eBay.
$5 again, probably.
Oh, China. Thank you, China, for all these things. Because it's just made the market a completely different ballgame.
Yes.
I use eBay constantly for buying these little things that you need to make your job that little bit easier. And people are obviously probably doing the same as well. And for video, there's hundreds and thousands of it. This little tripod here, I needed a fourth tripod, and I didn't want to be spending a lot of money. I was on Gumtree, which is hopeless in Perth. I don't know if you find the same thing. People are buying stuff for $100. I want to sell it for $110. Anyway, eBay, this tripod, $150 here in Perth. eBay, $60, and it does exactly what I want to do. It's just to hold a DSLR there, without not needing to move the camera around. Just need to be locked off. $60. It's a beautiful little tripod. Sorry for retailers in Perth. You've got to find a different angle, because cost. It's all about cost. I'm not going to pay $150 if I can pay $60, and it's delivered to me in 3 days. This was delivered in 3 or 4 days. I got it.
You illustrate a point, though. You illustrate a point, and we come back to this whole relationship versus audience dynamic.
Sweetie Pie, just a little bit quieter with the. Sorry for viewers listening. Got Emily back there making some sort of paper thing. She's forgotten about her camera work. She's detoured off to some other adventure we're doing. So it's a little bit quiet for 5 more minutes. Okay. Thank you, Sweet Pie.
Just the difference between audience and community. Again, that if all I'm doing is selling this kind of equipment, and if all I'm doing is just broadcasting to an audience, then they're going to have no emotional investment in me as an individual seller. And why would they pay more than the cheapest price that they could get?
Yeah.
Because there's no other reason. I'm not providing any value beyond the cheapest, an item. Whereas what you're sharing with us already is value, how to use these things. The fact I can use a little stand. Also, I've used, and for those of you that may be a bit less confident at starting out with this, then you can get a free teleprompter app for your tablet.
So if we watch next time when Darrel comes and chats too, we can talk about other things, other little apps you can get on your iPad, or on your iPhone or Samsung or whatever type of smartphone you have, to help you make videos easy to do the job, to write the scripts, and I'll talk a bit more about that. On scripting is a key thing, because if you're like me and you waffle on, then you've got to
and I do.
You've got to write your scripts and then get someone to read it and talk it out loud and get it precise, because otherwise you just, like I am now, you're making things up as you're going along and it ends up being a big bleh.
And I think it might be useful as well next time to share how we can use video for published posts, but we can also use video for status updates. And video on our profiles, and we may have touched on that in the past, but how to do that. And
I'll do a couple of status updates with video between we catch up next time, and maybe people can say what they thought of using it as a tool.
Absolutely.
And that is literally, I think, just getting your phone out and doing a little, hey, I saw this little thing on LinkedIn today. Everyone check this out. Or or I was driving along here and I had this meeting with these people, whatever it could be in relationship to business and your business.
Become valuable to your network. That is the key to all of this. If you become a person of value, and you have huge value, we just, in some respects, for all of us, we've got to stop hiding our light under a bushel kind of thing. We need to bring all of this out so that people can see, actually, this person is really knowledgeable, can really help me in my business, and this is what we're trying to do here. Be generous, be valuable, and people will be drawn to you and trust you.
And if, in saying that too, if you are hiding your light, what did you say, light under a bushel?
Is that the phrase?
I don't know, I'm not too sure about that one, but I like it.
Light under a bucket will do.
Be free, give us a call, and maybe you can come and have a chat with us too, and you can be on the Periscope and on the LinkedIn and YouTube or wherever we put all these things in, and you can
just show everybody,
add to the conversation, and then we can make it a real community event.
Just for Periscope viewers, we are videoing all of this.
There's Emily down there videoing.
More lights and so on and so forth. There's Emily over there. More lights, more cameras. Courtney.
Oh yes, I'm here.
Microphones, iPads, and dog and cat.
And construction happening next door as well. Just to add to everything.
Yeah. So thank you for those of you that have been tuning on Periscope. Just thought we'd try a bit of live streaming as well, so appreciate that. Are we going to be signing off now?
We are going to be signing off. If you want to sit back so we can actually see you to sign off, otherwise you'll be just talking to your parent. You can hold your camera up there. Hold it up to...
I'll put it back where...
That's where Periscope lives, down there. So now we have to go get another little thing. I was looking for the phone thing. It must be around somewhere that we can attach that to have our Periscope viewers properly tuned in. We probably need to set up this. We really need to plug this in and so they can hear us better. So here's probably a classic example. If the Periscope people say how well they can hear us, and next time when we get this bit more sorted out, we'll plug our little microphone in and you'll be able to hear it even better, because that little bit of distance away, and that does make the difference. If you can't hear it well, as everyone knows, you're not going to pay attention.
No.
So until next time, everybody, speak soon and keep well.
Take care.